Don't let nobody tell you that I'm in the market for a husband. Of course I would be, but they don't sell husbands in the market.
Well, women prefer men with polished bodies, don't they, Beulah?
You just give me the man, I'll do my own polishing.
Misunderstood. She's made many contributions to society since the very beginning that are often overlooked. To understand her plight, we must first go back to Africa, where it all started. We were brought here as slaves well over 400 years ago, our families torn apart without any hopes of ever seeing one another again. Slavery was the vehicle used to disband the unification of the black family as it was. Slave owners, such as William Lynch, upheld very harsh tactics to control slaves. As a result of slavery and its practices, the black family structure was misaligned, which had a lasting effect on generations that followed.
A lot of people don't even know the story of African American families through enslavement and the kind of horrors and the terrorism in which they've actually subdued, consistently and constantly. I think about Toni Morrison's book, Beloved, where she tries to re-articulate in the imaginations of people how a black mother had to wrestle with killing her own child as opposed to selling it into slavery. Those kind of decisions, during our enslavement, we really don't understand, or we really can't comprehend, but those were real decisions. Being married to somebody, but knowing that the slave master at any point can come in and rape your wife, and that your wife is carrying your master's child and having to raise that child. Those kind of things are really, really deep and searing things that sometimes I think we don't really understand that story. And if we do understand that story, then we know that we found a way to go through it, and that we can still do that today.
Only a few years ago, we were a discouraged people because we were the first to lose our jobs when Old Man Depression came along and the last to get them back. We struggled vainly to regain our bearings while depression, fear, and failure stalked the nation. A tenth of the population of the United States, we formed as a race over a sixth of the unemployed. 1 out of every 4 of us was on relief. In vain, we sought for something to restore our confidence, our hope, our courage. Without jobs, we had no money. And without money, we could not purchase food for the hungry mouths at home. Our only hope lay in charity. Hunger drove our people to the bread lines. Anxiously, we waited for some sign of better days. Then came the federal government's work program. One by one, it took us out of the bread line. It gave us a new chance to take a normal place in the life of our community. It made us self-supporting. It changed the haggard, hopeless faces of the bread line into faces filled with hope and happiness, for now we work again.
If society has set certain standards for manhood, and only men could be the head of a household, if that individual cannot live up to those standards, then is he fit to be head of a household? And if he cannot live up to those standards and he cannot reach these levels of manhood, then does he have the responsibility to walk away from his household because he is not the leader of the household himself? This is the psychology of it. And how is this important to the black community? It is important to the black community because the racial environment of the United States have always limited the abilities of black men to meet the requirements of manhood. And if they could not fulfill those requirements to be considered a man, a quote-unquote man, meaning that they could not provide for the family, in particular the black female who is sacrificed, who's already made sacrifices, then what then does that do to him? What stress is put on the black man? Does that make it easier for the black man to turn and walk away?
Dear beautiful, I no longer believe in you. No longer believe in what defines you because of her. She is beyond the word beauty. She is history in the skin tone, the color of struggle. Her backbone is built to never be broken by the weight of this unbalanced world. She is the daydreams of little black girls wishing, wanting to be more than just the object of lust in the next video. Black women like this are made of God muscle and masters of never being defeated. She is Coretta's heart beating after Martin's death. She is the exhale from Betty Shabazz's lungs after she is hung Malcolm's last suit. Women like this are bulletproof souls. Sade's haunting melody with Mahalia Jackson's spirit and Aretha Franklin's rhythm rocking in the bones. She is a movement refusing to move from her bus seat. She is a fallout shelter we all seek, a safe haven with a smile chiseled in the image of heaven. These women, these warriors of a revolution yet to come, are here fighting stereotypes and misconceptions while conceiving life and giving birth to a new generation of torchbearers and fire starters. These old flames fanning the embers of fresh sparks in her eyes. Her walk, her lean, her curves, her promise, her forgiveness, her anger, her pain, her sadness, her tears, her laughter, her perm, her locks, her Caesar, her weave, her stilettos, flip-flop flats, Timbs and sneaks, her PhD, her wives to city streets, her dancer from strip pole to Broadway and Paris shows to barely keeping a beat with two left feet, her knowledge of bus routes and subways, her convertible and jet planes, her corporate leader from 9 to 5 to housewife, making sure family survives, her cooking for the soul, her ability to burn cereal. All of what make her beautiful, so beautiful. I no longer believe in you anymore because I've met her. Signed sincerely, the Black Man.
Sisters, if you were a flower ready to be picked, would you prefer to be picked by a flower picker or a gardener? A flower picker is just that. He is inexperienced and doesn't have the proper knowledge in handling you. A gardener is very seasoned in nurturing you and understanding your needs so that you may blossom into a beautiful flower. There are far more flower pickers today than gardeners.
There are a lot of good black men, and I have sisters and that say that, well, there are no good black men, and that is not true.
When you're dating, in your relationship to relationship, you tend to establish patterns. And a lot of times people don't want to look at their place in those relationships.
My experiences with black men have been actually pretty good. Black men being loyal, being honest, being God-fearing, which is a big thing for me. Being hardworking, wanting to experience life, traveling, and just pretty much not staying in the box. So I've had those good black men in my life. I've had some strange situations with different black men that I think are just downright worthless, trifling, garbage, all of that.
I grew up with primarily my mother and my sister. My parents divorced when I was 10, and it was tough. And just yesterday I referenced that with a male friend of mine. Certain things are said or done, and it'll trigger that feeling of abandonment or the feeling of nobody cares just about me. But I still wish I had time with my father so I really would know how you should be treated. Everything from opening the door for a little girl to picking her up, and just those things that I feel like I would know to expect more versus thinking I need someone to protect me. So it's different. And then seeing that my parents didn't get along, and there was definitely a huge issue that I saw that I understood them not being together, but I didn't like it. And I know it affects how I interact with men, and my trust level isn't very high, or it'll be there, but as soon as I see a sign, I'm like, okay.
I think black men are afraid of commitment. And I think once they are in a commitment, they don't know how to treat a woman. They may treat the woman like one of their boys, or they're just not as
soft and caring with the woman.
Now that I'm getting a little older, you know, some of my decisions or thoughts about marriage have definitely changed and towards the, you know, leaning more towards being married.
If I'm seriously dating a guy, I want him to feel like he is the man in my life. I don't want to throw anything up in his face. I don't want to belittle him. I do have a very smart mouth, and I'm always popping off at the mouth, but when I'm dating a guy seriously, I have a completely different way that I come at that guy from the way that I normally behave, like around my friends or other people. Like, and it's not that I'm changing who I am, but it's just that I know that I'm in a relationship with that, and I have to respect certain boundaries, and that's what I try to do. I try to be conscious of that and not make him feel like I'm trying to belittle him or berate him or I'm not respecting who he is.
If you tell me you're gonna do something and you don't do it, then you can't be mad because I stepped up and did it. So that goes to the woman wearing the pants and not the skirt. I would love to wear a skirt.
Hey, Lisa girl. Hey, how you doing? Got lost.
Hey, sugar foot.
Hey, girl, please. You know I had to wait on this one.
Now, y'all know how I do now. I don't go anywhere unless I look fabulous, all right?
We know.
Anyway. You got a fly girl. Who did it?
Now, you know I don't just let anybody mess in my head.
Anyway, who up in here?
So it does look good.
Thank you.
I love your home.
You know it's set on the market almost 3 years because of the economy.
I can believe it. It's hard on a lot of people right now.
Tell me about it. You mind giving me a hand in the kitchen?
Girl, no, I'd love to.
Everything's basically done. I just need a little help moving these trays into Tony's man cave.
Man cave? Tony has a man cave?
Yes, girl. A man cave. And as long as it keeps him off the streets, he can have whatever he wants. What's wrong, Sophie? You know you went around the kitchen. Mi casa es su casa.
I know, it's just admiring your home. I'm thinking about how nice it must be to purchase one.
Well, go buy yourself one. It's not like you don't have the money.
Buying is not the issue. It's the home maintenance I have a problem with. You know, I'm not the one to be worrying about mowing the lawn or trimming hedges.
That's why you need a man in your life. That's his job.
Please don't start.
You know I'm telling the truth. I'll be right back.
I definitely have a brick wall up. I'm very, like, it is what it is. Like, let me know what you want from me, and I'm gonna let you know what I want from you. Whereas I should just basically go with the flow and be patient and take time. I need to know off rip, like, are you gonna stay or you gonna go? What we gonna do? Are you gonna be my cut buddy? Am I rocking with you? Let me know what it is, because I don't have time to play with you. Period.
You meet a young man, and right now he's probably working out at Walmart, making about $8 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously he may be making less money than you,
Mm-hmm.
but he has goals.
Mm-hmm.
Would you date him?
I would consider it. It depends on what type of person he is.
Or what type of goals must he have for you to consider it?
I mean, I want a man who has a vision for his life. I mean, if he just wants to work at Walmart for the rest of his life, I mean, that's not really what I'm looking for.
What if he wants to be manager?
Well, if he wants to be manager, I mean, oh God. Richie, I'm gonna kill you. You backed me into a corner.
Mobility.
You backed me into a corner on that one.
Guess who just asked about you?
Who?
Kevin.
Kevin? Kevin who?
Please do not act like you did not see that fine specimen of a man out there.
You remind me of the rising of the sun in the early morn, bursting through the dawn in perfect form. The sky thirsts for your beauty to embrace your light, for they know that without your strength, who could appreciate the beauty of the earth? Hi, my name is Kevin, but my friends call me Kev.
Nice to meet you, Kevin.
The pleasure is all mine. I have something for you. Is it okay?
Well, sure, I guess.
Am I safe in guessing that this is your favorite?
Was that obvious?
No. But made me wonder which was better. The taste of the strawberries or your lips?
What y'all doing? And where the food at? A sister is hungry. Y'all serving these hors d'oeuvres and appetizers and whatever the hell. I want some real food. Did I miss the memo? Cause since when did you get a man?
Stephanie, this is Kevin. Kevin, this is one of my best friends, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. It's nice to meet you.
You know, I've seen you somewhere before. You play ball.
I played ball back in college. I didn't quite make it to the pros.
You used to play for the NBA D-League. And there was a lot of interest in you. So what happened?
Stephanie!
What? He is a grown-ass man. And if he doesn't want to answer the question, then he can tell me. Not you, Mother Teresa.
Nah. It's cool. It's cool. I don't mind telling the story.
See?
I was on my way from practice, and I was amped. Had some scouts out, and I was geared up. It was a good day. Got to a red light, and the light turned green. Bam! Everything went black. When I awoke, I realized my leg had been amputated.
Oh, man. I'm so sorry for bringing that up.
It's all right. I learned to walk pretty well on my prosthetic leg. Would you like to see it?
Hell, it wasn't even all that funny. Well, Mr. Saturday Night Live, what do you do for a living? Seriously.
I'm in sports management.
He is a sports agent.
Steph, calm down.
Damn, girl, you know you need a man.
I am not desperate.
Lisa, did you hear this chick?
I hear it.
Okay.
So, Sophie, what do you want in a man?
Someone who believes in a being higher than himself. Strong, funny, intelligent, works at being a better human being, involved in the community. Someone who desires to be an example of leadership and pay it forward, you know?
So eloquently spoken. You know, you'd be surprised how many women don't have a clue of what they want in a man.
Well, you're with a big girl now, and I know exactly what I want, and I have no problem expressing that. How about you?
In a few words, I want a woman just like you.
It's beautiful in here. That looks delicious.
Yes, it does.
Well, it is delicious. Can I get you guys anything else tonight?
No thanks, we're fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I remember you like strawberries.
I'm impressed. delicious.
Now that's what I remember. Those lips are like a glimpse of heaven.
That was unexpected.
Well, that's your tradition of fondue.
Really?
Yeah. You kiss your partner every time you dip a piece of fruit in the fondue pot.
My parents divorced when I was 2 years old. My dad was and has always been a part of my life. And I also had uncles who were married and have been married for 50 plus years. So I've always had a model to look to in terms of what I want in a marriage. I think one of the things that my parents' divorce provided me with was an idea of what I don't want to do.
The women who I know who grew up with fathers in their homes, who grew up with, even if the relationship between the parents wasn't functional, they know how to deal with men much better than women who did not grow up with a father in the home or brothers or close grandfather, uncle, what have you. And so I even noticed that just in terms of my own awareness and girlfriends that I had, and you know, I have a good group of girlfriends, but I would notice like the ones who were in marriages and who were functioning in marriages, they were the ones who had a man and a meaningful relationship with that man throughout the course of their lives. And it does make a difference because now you're modeling what you grew up with. But if you don't have a frame of reference, then your frame of reference comes from the streets.
Yeah. Can't live with them, but you can't live without them. You need them in your life. To a certain point, I take my hat off to them, but need to get rid of attitudes.
That's the biggie.
Attitude.
Need to get rid of attitude, man. It's like,
you know, it ain't.
You want to relate. Weak. Yeah, we're not. You want to relate to sisters, but man, it's just like. It's like you come up against that wall, that attitude, man, and it's just like, God, like really? You know, it's some things are just like you don't even have to argue about, but it'll become an argument, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a lot, you know, and I don't like that. Outside of the attitude, hey, thumbs up. But that attitude I'm allergic to it.
Most of them feel like they have an attitude based on what they've been getting from brothers over the years.
Let me say something about that. Honestly, you gotta think about it. If that's life. It ain't just brothers, you know. I shouldn't have to pay for what another man did. Just like when I get into a relationship, when I was getting into a relationship with sisters, you know, I didn't take out on them what the last sister did to me. So there's no, you know, that's just a cop out. To me, that's a cop out because they wouldn't let us do that. So I don't think it's really fair. You know what I'm saying? For them to be, that's their leeway to get what they want, or to get by, or to say, well, that's just how we are. No, that's how you decide to be.
Exactly.
You know?
My thing is, my take is, and I know ladies are watching this film, but don't, you know, get mad at me, but I feel like a lot of sisters are emotionally irresponsible. And what I mean by that is like, you know, you go into these relationships wide open, you know, willing to give everything up front, you know, your love, your time, your emotions, everything. And then it's like when a brother don't reciprocate, that same openness and willing to give you everything up front, then it's a problem, you know what I'm saying? And not every man that you meet is gonna be your man, you know? And I think a lot of times, you know, you meet a nice person or a nice guy and think, okay, this is the one, this might be the one. And every time, you know, this might be the one, and then this might be the one. And then you get tired of trying to find the one, and then, you know, you get that wall, and here's that attitude, and, you know, but you were emotionally irresponsible, you know what I'm saying? Be a little bit more responsible with your emotions, take it slow. Every man you meet ain't gonna be your husband or your boo thing. Some men are just there to say, you know, hey, how you doing? You know, let's get a bite to eat, let me get to know you a little bit. You know, I'm not here to try to be your husband today, you know?
I had a wonderful evening.
So did I.
I have coffee, maybe a Heineken. Would you like to come in?
I would love to. But I promised a friend that I had removed tomorrow, so I'm sorry.
Well, thanks for a wonderful evening. Good night.
Good night.
I see men from across the board. I mean, all ethnicities, Indian, Asian, African American, white. But I see a lot of brothers in some of the programs we deal with, across the age spectrum. The main thing I see is issues of expectations, entitlement, privilege, and not a realistic understanding of what a relationship is. And someone stuck back in the day where they think the woman's supposed to do all this type of work. This is your job, period. Why aren't you doing it? And also, when I want sex, it's supposed to hit, you know? So there's not a lot of understanding and communication of how you need to compromise and get together with these things. And it's hard because where are their role models? That's what they saw from their fathers, their uncles, their grandfathers. They're following that same script, you know? So the main thing we talk about with a lot of the guys I deal with is realistic understanding of what a relationship should look like and how to control, or basically how to modify and not have controlling abusive behavior. And what does controlling abusive behavior look like, and what does healthy relationships look like?
You can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. So in our development, in our sojourn in America, we have been very much so dysfunctional that, you know, you can see it in the statistics when you turn on television, when you listen to radio. Our state and our condition as a people is not good. And so to move forward, to answer your question, what we must do, we must find a starting point. And so that starting point for many is erased. You know, there is no starting point. It's nothing but confusion for a lot of our people.
Hey Lisa, it's Soph.
Hey, you back already? Where's Kevin? Taking a shower?
No, Kevin went home.
What? Stop lying.
Hold on, let me call Stephanie.
Okay.
Hey, Soph.
Hey, Stephanie, it's me.
Hey, Steph, it's Lisa.
Hey, girl. Okay, I can't wait to hear this. So what happened?
I'm feeling so stupid right now.
Girl, you don't have to tell me nothing. I knew something was wrong with Mr. Lade.
No, it's not him, it's me. We had a wonderful time. He remembered that I like strawberries, went to a romantic restaurant, we had fondue.
Fond what?
Fondue is where you dip fruit and chocolate and you have to kiss your partner. It's tradition. Anyway, conversation, the wine, it's a perfect night.
So, what happened?
I'll tell you what happened. He didn't want the vajayjay. I told you, girl.
You're right. I practically handed it to him on a platter.
Gay ass Mr. Lade.
You think so?
Girl, no. And Steph, weren't you the one pressing Sophie about him when you found out he was an agent?
That was before I found out that he was down for the other team.
If Kevin were gay, Tony would definitely know it. They used to run together back in the day.
That don't mean nothing.
That man ain't gay.
I don't get it. The chemistry is there. He's gorgeous. His eyes, his muscles. He's intelligent. I don't get it.
HIV, gay, broke, you pick it, girl. But that's a warning. You better stay away from that fool.
Be quiet, Stephanie. Don't worry about it, Sophie. Just because he didn't take it, don't mean he don't want it. Maybe he just likes the anticipation.
I don't know. I kind of got the feeling he was in a rush to leave. Like he was brushing me off.
Girl, you are beautiful, smart, and sexy. Hell, I'd date you if I wasn't married.
And you know B-ball is always trying to set you up, but you and this I don't date ball players nonsense. That's keeping you out the game.
Look, that was my night. And outside being rejected, I had a wonderful time.
Girl, you just caught that man off guard. Or maybe he's just trying to make a good impression. Sex isn't everything, Sophie.
I don't know. I kind of got the feeling something else was going on. Like, maybe he's seeing someone else.
He is seeing someone. A man.
Look, I'm home, safe and sound. Me and Mother JJ are going to bed. I have a long day ahead of me tomorrow. I love you both. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking.
But I've had female friends who have that ideal of, I'm an independent woman, I don't need anybody. And where that could come a lot from is fear and experience. They've experienced people they've dated who basically has let them down, disappointed them, or abused them. And so now they're really emotionally guarding themselves and trying to protect themselves. Can a woman do everything she wants on her own, or a man? Yeah, sure they can. But as something that's given when you share life with someone, you have to give up a little bit and you have to get a little bit. You know, and some people aren't ready to make that step for themselves, either maturity-wise or personal, for whatever they've experienced or seen growing up. And hopefully some people will be able to get past that, but some people will not. And I think that's a big issue for a lot of black men. Unfortunately for a lot of black men, I think if you want to quote the phrase, it's a player's field out here. You know, there's a lot of African women making bank, doing well for themselves and stable, and a lot of black men can float between that, you know, and some do because they can. You okay? Oh, it's okay. It's okay. You know, and so I think independence is great, but when you get to a place where you want to share your life with someone, finding someone who respects that. And the main thing I tell couples or friends of mine is, it's not your partner's job to make you happy. Your partner's job is to support you in your happiness and encourage that. If you can't make yourself happy, then you basically missing the boat. You know, because it ain't my job to fill you up. My job is to keep you and empower you. But if I'm constantly putting in, and trying to fill you up, then I'm really exhausting myself. You need to do your part.
Hey, you know, Boss Lady will be here any second for our meeting. Make sure your stations are clean so we won't have to be here all night, please. Hey, boss.
Hey, Alicia.
Boss, I know we have a meeting today, so I went ahead and went through all the receipts for the week. You have 2 chairs that had a problem with rent, but I put everything on your desk. Remember I need to leave early today?
I do remember. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm getting my own place. Me and my roommate are having too many issues.
Alicia, you should have told me. I'll ask my movers to do that for you.
Oh, that's so nice, boss, but I have a friend coming to pick me up. And if all goes well, I might be christening my new place tonight.
Okay, well, I may have to take some lessons from you then.
Anytime, boss.
We'll go grab my books from the back and you can take off after that, okay?
Cool.
Okay.
Kevin, you're here early.
My bad. I can wait out in the car if you want me to.
No, that's not necessary. My boss is real cool.
Alicia, I can't find my books. Has anyone been in my...
Boss, this is the friend I was telling you about, Kevin. Kevin, this is my boss, Sophie. What's going on?
Brothers, embrace change. That's first and foremost. What I've learned, I've been married now for 9 years, and it gets better. You know, the more you put into it, the more you're willing to grow, and the more you're willing to tear down your old structure, you know, that bachelor structure. I think a lot of brothers get married and still got that bachelor mindset a little bit, still kind of want to get out there and do what he used to do, and that's cool to a certain degree, but you have to be willing to go into a new dimension of yourself, become somebody totally new. And I'll say to a lot of women that good men are not found. Okay, they're developed.
Exactly.
Okay, you got some work to do. You know what I'm saying? They're developed, and I live by that. I'm like, same thing with wives. Good wives are developed, because if you've never been a husband, if you've never been a wife, then you have to become something that you've never been before. So it's going to take some trial and error. You know, you're going to make some mistakes. You're not going to make this person happy all the time. You're not going to say the right things all the time. But that love that you say that you have for that person, it has to be developed. Like anything else in life, has to be developed. Just like this film. It had to be written, thought out, you know, scripted and everything. And now it is what it is today. You know, and fellas, that's how you learn to love a sister.
But my thing with fellas that aren't married today, when you're looking to be married, take your time. Because I didn't listen to my dad, and he told me before I married my first wife, he said it's bad to be taken when the right person come along.
Wow.
I mean, simple as that. Simple words from
a repeat.
You know what I'm saying? It's bad to be taken when the right person come along. Simple as that. And don't jump into, every woman ain't meant to have sex with. Every woman ain't meant to bed down with, because you mess around and sleep with the wrong woman, and she could have been your best friend later on in life to help you through trials and tribulations when you really needed a woman's opinion. And you done ruined it by, animal lust or just ignorance.
I think most black men could really gain from finding older mentors, I think, who are balanced. And what I mean by that is men themselves in healthy relationships. Going to relationship like workshops or relationship, kind of like relationship therapy in a sense. Because the assumption is that I can be a better man and be in a good relationship, and I've never done it before. But for everything we do, thank you, big guy, appreciate it. Everything we do, for math, you take classes on, you study it. For engineering, you study it. For your being a business person, you either get a bachelor's or an MBA or you're an entrepreneur. You learn how to do the trade. Same thing in relationships. You need to learn how to do it. And what does it look like? And if your model is what's on television as a good relationship, then you're fooling yourself. A lot of men need to go through domestic violence training. If they think they haven't been abusive, great. But I've been in the work now 16 years of domestic violence. When I came to Atlanta, I went to a group called Men Stopping Violence to get training with them before I started becoming one of their counselors. And in 6 months in their program, I learned a lot of things that I was doing incorrectly. And I've been doing this work for 10 years at that time. The emotional abuse men take women through, or the controlling abusive behavior they have. So learning about yourself, what's controlling and abusive about you, and learning what a healthy relationship looks like. If most men do that and really be studious about that part and not go to old antiquated, I'm the man's role, the female's role, I think brothers will grow immensely, And unfortunately, all brothers and sisters got to go through that selfish period. Hopefully most of them is short. But, so it's a period a lot of us have to go through.
Hello?
Strawberry.
Don't call me that. I thought I told you. I don't have anything to say to you.
Okay, Sophie, but just listen to me. You got it all wrong.
Oh, so now I'm back to Sophie.
I mean, you just told me not to...
I know what I just said, Kevin.
Okay, yes, you do. You do know what you just said. But I also know that you're mature enough to hear my side of the story. Look, if you don't believe me, then I'll just walk away.
You have 2 minutes, and make it a quick 2.
2 minutes? But that's not long enough to tell you my side of the story.
Well, now you have exactly 1 minute and 55 seconds.
Okay. I knew her back when I was playing ball in college. Her brother told her I'd be in town, and I promised that I'd help her move. I had no intentions of having any type of relationships with her. I mean, he was there. And that's the truth. I promise, Strawberry. Strawberry, you're quiet.
Kevin, I wanted to trust you.
And you still can.
I don't know, Kevin.
Strawberry, listen to me. I would never do anything to hurt you. You was missing in my life, and I don't want to spend another moment without you.
You're just saying that. You don't mean it.
I love you.
What did you just say?
Strawberry, I love you. Open the door.
Open the door? Where are you?
I'm outside your door.
So ladies, in particular, men are intimidated by you. They ain't gonna admit it, that's why they're quiet. Don't be a Christian lady. Don't be an educated lady. And you good looking too. Don't be a lady that have what they ought to have. You say what you want to. Many men are intimidated by women who are that way. The control is really yours. You actually have the power. Because you can say yes and you can say no. But if you mean no, can I tell you when no ain't no? Because a brother knows. We don't, no, Brady, that don't mean nothing. Boy, you know you need to stop. No, now quit, I said. But if a sister look at her brother and say, don't you look at me, don't you touch me, don't you say you, ooh. That brother be like, man, that girl crazy. It's all right to be that, to be what you're gonna be with this.
Trapped in a whirlwind of emotions, I find myself waiting on the very edge of your ocean. Captivated by your waves of security, swept away by your tide. I tried to hide behind logic's door of fear, but time eventually found me there. I was crouching, tiger, hidden dragon. You coerced me into your lair as like and love played tug of war in my mind. I find myself trapped in a whirlwind. We pretend to control our destinies. We pretend to control the keys to our heart's doors, but somewhere between loving and hurting, fate has changed the locks, holding signs in our souls' windows that read, we are now accepting friends. I am trapped in a whirlwind. These feelings I can't contain. My heart reversed the words in my sentences, so logic has diagnosed me as insane. Insane as me, diagnosed has logic, so sentences my in-words, the reversed heart, my mouth is afraid to articulate love, so I'll say I'm in like with you. Because in my reality, love is dictated by time, and the clock on my wall indicates time has resigned. It's reduced itself to nothing. So, if this thing that's between you and I isn't love, it has to be more than like, right? I continue to fight. At war with myself, I want to place these feelings I have for you on my heart's shelf, but my heart won't let me. I'm swimming in your sea, mesmerized by your exponential degree of divinity, witnessing your epiphany inside your whirlwind. I am dancing with like. I am falling into love. I am living you, breathing you inside your whirlwind. I am tumbling, tumbling, tumbling around the thought of loving you, trapped.
The title of this piece is called Beautiful Black Sister. Regal is the color of her skin, coated in a darker shade of history, while royalty accents her essence, her presence, displays vivid images of a misplaced lineage. And though society constantly tells her that she's the ladder of all subject matter, baby, I beg to differ. So let me lift you. Light-skinned, dark-skinned, brown-skinned sisters, we, the brothers, love you. Since the world hadn't told you, because deep inside of your dark hue, you carry the secrets of past, present, and future events. Bruised but not broken. Life often imitates you because everything about you says beautiful. So sisters, I feel you every time you release your tears. I realize that they're just liquid prayers that have not been answered in a world that doesn't care to acknowledge your pain. Since the the beginning of time. No other woman has ever gave birth to life like you or walked this earth just like you, because you are a beautiful infinity outlined in a sexy space-time continuum. So that makes you light years ahead of all other women that wish that they had your style, your sex appeal, your commanding presence, because believe it or not, whenever you walk into a room, all you can hear is silent stares from men saying, damn. So walk that walk, mommy. Talk that talk, mommy. And with every word and every step, baby girl, you keep rewriting history, because you are the most beautiful love song and poem that no man can ever describe. You are the inspiration behind every Stevie Wonder lyric, baby, and I feel you. And the brothers, we love you. Beautiful black sisters. Peace.
You know, it's really all about how do we help one another be successful as spouses. And that's what I talk about. I talk about marriage, because really we don't need so much help on how to be a boyfriend, how to be a girlfriend. We've kind of got that down to a science. But what does it take to be a wife? What does it really take to be a husband? Two very, very, very distinct roles, and roles in which we have not been very successful. Our divorce rates are really high. Our marriage rates are really low.
But it was this guy, was a lifeguard. He had a nice, I guess you could say he had a nice body. Whatever. I wasn't paying no attention to that. But no, I wasn't. He
that was
had
for the
these.
camera.
No, honest to God, I was not. I am not a physical person when it comes to men. Back then I was extremely immature.
I'm sorry.
I was extremely immature, and I thought, the way to tell if a man love you is if he's jealous. So the guy walked past me, and I turned my head and looked, and I knew Gerald was looking.
Purposely.
And I saw his reaction, and I was like, okay, mission accomplished.
Oh.
I feel bad about it now. It's not funny, but he said at that moment he knew he loved me because he got that sick feeling in his stomach. Am I right?
That's absolutely right.
Oh, I got that sick.
It sure was. I was like, I just thought, wow. I was like, because as heated as you would get with me if you thought I looked at somebody.
And he still do. He be looking. Don't let him fool you.
In any case, but I'm glad I still get butterflies from my wife.
Oh, see, he cleaned it up real good. Now, how could I be mad about it?
Learn, brothers, learn.
No, I get moths.
You get moths from me.
You get moths. Ain't no more butterfly. It's moths now.
I still find you very sexy. Oh my God.
Look, I find you sexy. Yeah, look at
That's funny, Daddy.
I find you sexy. Ain't no butterflies. I'm telling you, ain't no butterflies no more. It's moths.
Darn. I'm sorry. Take that as I'm sorry. You don't get me.
You know how much I love you. We are not their age anymore. Look
You don't
here.
have to be their age for you to continue to woo me. You wooed me to get me.
I'm continuing to woo you, but I'm telling you.
Whatever you did to get her, you got to do to keep her.
Exactly
A lot of men
can fight.
A lot of men and women.
People.
Yeah, buddy.
Either way, I still find this man sexy as the devil. I look at him when he don't know I'm looking.
I look at you when you know I'm looking.
For real. Sometimes when you're looking, I put a more switch into it.
Look,
Why would you do that for real? I will. If he doesn't, what kind of look is it? When I look at Kenna?
Yeah. Oh.
And then I remember over the river to the woods, behind in the trees, up under the stairs.
Don't tire yourself out now. Tire yourself out.
Yes, I do remember. I do. And the longer a relationship is, that's what you find yourself doing.
Yeah.
All things won't be the same. No. But that's what you find yourself doing. That's what keeps you together. Remembering the good times, Of course the devil is busy and he's gonna always try. But like my daughter says, as long as you know that's what it is, as long as you know that's that devil,
keep that strong bond,
then you'll be all right.
For women, we are affirmed generally on our jobs. Our jobs give us a sense of who we are, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of feeling like, wow, I'm really somebody, I really can do this. And in fact, people gravitate toward the applause in life. So wherever the applause is, and this is for men and women, that is where people are going to gravitate. So typically the applause comes from our job. We get applause every 2 weeks when we get paid. We get applause when we get a bonus. We get applause when somebody says you did a great job on that project. And so as a woman, In the work world, we learn a variety of skills, or we bring a set of skills to our jobs. We learn how to administrate, we learn how to manage, we learn how to coordinate, we learn how to take charge, we learn how to get it done, we learn how to make it happen. Unfortunately, when we get married and when we're in a relationship, we sometimes try to bring those same skills to our husband and to our home. But sisters, let me tell you, black man does not want to be administrated, managed, coordinated, or taken charge of by us. Not happening. No, there is another skill set that is needed in order to be a successful wife. We have to learn how to let our men be the head of the house. How do we do that? It's definitely not by telling them what to do. It's all in how we do things. And so one of the things that we want to be able to understand in this film is that men are so very important to women feeling very good about themselves. So here's tip number one for the brothers out there watching the film. Compliment your wife in public. Let people know that you have a public display of commitment to her. You think she is the bomb, and you are not afraid to let her know in private, but more importantly, you let people know in public. You compliment her in front of her friends. See, there's one thing about a public display of affection, that's all right, but the public display of commitment, where you are willing to say in front of whoever that your wife is like the greatest wife in the world, she broke the mold, she is the best wife, that says a whole lot, and it goes a long way. That is very, very, very important.
Let's talk to the pimp.
Hello.
Now, how do you feel about son-in-law and from my understanding, you are expecting her, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We're due November 24th, 2013. We don't know what it is yet. The Sunday before Thanksgiving. Yeah. A very wonderful Thanksgiving this is gonna be.
Okay.
Just wishing for a happy, healthy baby. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know. Anybody that knows me can tell you how elated I've been waiting for a grandbaby ever since I had my daughter, I believe. In fact, I believe more than 15 years ago, honey, was it 15 years ago? Why are you working your mouth and going on like that? I ain't said nothing yet. Did he ask me a question?
You know it's coming.
Wait a minute.
You've been waiting for a grandbaby ever since.
Yes.
I know.
A mother can say that. You have to be a mother to understand where I'm coming from. This is what I mean by that.
So
when
you can't be a father and understand where you coming from.
I don't know what you were looking for, huh? Anyway, you look up and you have a daughter and you wish the best for her, which the best is in Gerald Kenneth Jones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And so I'm very grateful for my son-in-law and just elated that we're going to have this grandbaby. And back to what I was saying. When you have a daughter, you live and you dream about your daughter growing up and marrying and having a baby. I mean, with me, she could have had the baby before she got married, and I would have loved it just as much. But the fact that I'm saying is, I have one present for my grandbaby that I know I've had over 15 years. Yeah. At least 15 years. Yeah, I used to be in the habit of buying grandbaby clothes, but this particular time I ordered a grandbaby rocking chair. It's purple, and it says grandbaby throne, and he wouldn't put it together for me at the time.
Listen.
It's still not together. No.
Listen, the reason why I didn't put it together because we didn't have a grandbaby.
So I do have my first grandbaby present. Anyway.
He's gonna bring it to home to my put this together for our grandbaby. Where's the grandbaby?
The cat and the dog. Anyway.
One times one always equals one. So it's one spouse multiplying the efforts of the other spouse. So the husband multiplies the efforts of the wife, and the wife multiplies the efforts of the husband, and they become one in the process. So how do you multiply your spouse's efforts? Let's say, for example, a husband is looking around and he sees his wife and she is really working very hard to provide a good home environment for him and for the family. And so he says, I'm going to buy my wife a Roomba. And a Roomba is that little vacuum cleaner that operates on its own. And so the Roomba does the work. And so now he has multiplied his wife's efforts so that now she's not the one pushing the vacuum cleaner. She can go off and do something else. So he has now multiplied her efforts, and the Roomba is vacuuming the floor. So now the wife is thinking, how can I multiply my husband's efforts? My man needs a better job. Let me redo his resume. I'm not even gonna tell him. I'm gonna redo his resume and I'm gonna find some other jobs because my husband is brilliant. He is a scholar. He is just so smart and he is so knowledgeable, and really what he's doing is not making good use of his skill and talent. He really needs to be doing something else. So she redoes his resume, she sends it out, and he gets these calls. Yes, I'm interested in a better job. Really? You want me to come for an interview? Wow. So she has multiplied his efforts. And so that is how couples can begin to work together. So every day, every week, you're asking yourself, what can I do to multiply my spouse's efforts? What can I do to help my spouse be better? And in doing this, the two begin to work together to become one. And that is what is really necessary in a marriage. You're not trying to just be two individuals working together and living in the same household. That's called roommates. No, the two of you are trying to work together to become husband and wife, to become one and create a union that is exalted and glorifies the higher creator, the God, Allah, whoever you believe in. It glorifies His majesty because we are creating families. We're creating children that become productive citizens and that become a reflection of God and Allah's mercy. So the two shall become one spouse multiplying the efforts of the other. Works every time.
One of the things, and I highly stress this to anyone who's suggesting to get married, who has an inkling, before you jump that broom, counseling prior to. You know, by us, what we had done is we had went through counseling during the whole courtship phase. Before we got married, we went through counseling every week. You know, and because of that, a lot of things were brought to light about myself that I didn't know that could have caused a problem later on. And likewise, you know, there's things that about her that came to light that she wasn't aware of that would have caused problems. You know, so we were able to avoid those potholes, for, you know, some of those potholes that other people went, fell victim to. You know, so that helped a lot.
Create an environment of appreciation. Let her know in the home that your home is a place where she is totally, totally appreciated. You appreciate the little that she does to the big that she does. Because as I said earlier, people gravitate toward the applause in life. Be the applause in her life. Be her cheerleader. Be the president of her fan club. Let people know, especially let her know, that you appreciate what she does to go out of her way as your wife, as your helpmeet, as your friend, as your lover, as your partner, all of that you appreciate all of what she does. All of this seeks to engender an overwhelming volcanic rush of love and affection for you, which is what I'm sure every man wants from his wife. That is what it takes to get it.
We run into everyday problems, you know, marriage, you know. When we first got married, you know, we popped out a kid, you know, 9 months later. And that's when we first got married, we basically got pregnant right away.
Yeah, and, it wasn't 9 months though.
Well, we basically got pregnant right away and had a baby. So that's kind of hard, you know, having a newborn, you're newly married and everything, you know. Things change. Mm-hmm. So communication is definitely, you know, a big key in survival in our marriage. We need to communicate. It's like, you know, when I expect him, if I'm not, you know, I'm not doing what I used to do or pleasing him like I used to. You know, he comes to me, babe, you know, open it up, right.
You slipping, and trust me, she does the same. You know, my game slipping, you slipping. You know, you know, you got to talk.
And I stay reminded of that commitment that we made on that day. You know, basically, you know, I told him, you know, in counseling, I said, you know, I was in it for the long haul.
Women need to know that they are pleasing to their husbands. You know, so it doesn't help for a man to complain every day without having some kind of solution. You know, men really should be the receivers and the receptors of complaints, not the other way around, where men are the distributors of complaints. It should really be that men are the receptors, so that women can feel like if they have an issue, a concern, or a problem, they can go to their husband and say, honey, look, this is what's going on. This is what's happening in my life. life, I need your help. And not that she's gonna constantly get a barrage of complaints from her husband. You didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do this. Oh my God, it just really becomes very difficult to bear.
What I know is, how do you guys get through the conflict though when it's not working? I know you said you was a more patient one, but when it's not working, like what do you do?
See, I like to talk things out. Kenneth is not really a talker.
I don't really get a chance to say nothing. Wait a minute.
Anyway, I like to express my feelings.
See, it's showing right now.
You know,
you keep trying to talk, but she
when you're in a relationship this long, you try writing it down. Being a woman, you try everything. And it's not. I'm not saying sometimes it's the man that may be going through the trials and the trouble. In a relationship, feeling like they want to get out.
That's majority of the time. That's majority of the time.
I've tried to write it down. See, I can't. But can I just
man, I'm telling you,
I just like to
you don't give us enough credit.
I've said and I'll say exactly how I'm feeling. And a lot of times people say, well, you just don't say everything. Not that you say everything that comes to your mind at all the time. All the time. Do you not say everything? But when I feel like I need to express myself, I always tell him, I'm going down saying what's on my mind.
Yeah.
When you look, because I always tell him, God and I have made this pact. I'm gonna die first. That's just me and God have made this pact. So when you walk up to that casket and you look down on me, you're gonna miss my mouth, because you're gonna miss the one that always told you everything that they feel.
I don't know what you're getting.
The areas that they need the love in, the areas that this is not working in, you need to jumpstart this part, honey. You don't let this part kind of get slack. You know, communication is everything. And if you have to be the only one communicating, then you just do.
Communicating is everything, but
and sometimes you
ain't
can't
one person talking, and the other person just doing up and just standing there. But, K. Francis,
Well, see, if I don't say it, I forget. If I don't say it, I forget.
Write it down, then you can say it later.
Before I see you, I will have gone over it into my mind. So when I see you, I need to jump you when you come through the door. And tell you everything.
When I come through the door.
Yeah.
What causes couples to get divorced is really not the infidelity, not the mismanagement of money. That is not what happens. It's their inability to manage the conflict. So what separates couples that stay together from couples that get divorced are really not the problems. Because for every couple that has gotten a divorce because of infidelity, there's another couple that has stayed together. For every couple that divorces because of money management issues, there's another couple that has stayed together. So how is it that couples can learn to manage the conflict that happens in every marriage, in every relationship, whether it is friend, family, or foe? Conflict is going to happen.
If you arguing with your best friend, who am I going to talk to if I'm mad at him? That's the worst feeling in the world, because I want to vent and I can't even talk to my best friend, who also happens to be my husband. So that's kind of like a fine line to walk, but I've learned, he may agree or disagree with me, sometimes I do have to say I'm sorry first, or sometimes I do have to make the approach to make things okay, even if I don't feel like it, even if I feel like I was right. There is no right or wrong. You're either gonna be married or you're not. You go be in the moment that you allow yourself to cut off that communication. That's when the enemy go bring something or someone in that mix to totally dismantle that whole relationship. So you just gotta be better than that.
And you must admit I've gotten better. I can rant and rave. God knows I can rant and rave because I have my point to prove. But a lot of times I'll just be quiet. What's so funny?
You really crack me up.
Sometimes
when you mad at me, I know to give you 3 days to get over whatever you
3 days.
3 days. I better not say nothing to her. I said 3 days, I just let her go on, rant and rave all her. Hey y'all, this shit done. And like I said, I just keep my mouth shut. After 3 days, then when I see her bring back the groceries.
What you mean back? You mean bring in some groceries?
No, bring it back.
Where is that?
Bring it back. Baby, get out. You know your mama got so mad. She took the food out of the house.
Yeah, I remember. My mama used to throw my dad's clothes out in the yard. I used to be so embarrassed when my friends was over.
Taking all the food back, all the food.
I used to say, why you gonna throw his clothes out the house if you just go bring them
Now wait a minute, y'all talking
That's
about
just madness.
we're talking about marriage here, not
Y'all
relationship.
was married?
Were we?
That was embarrassing.
We've been married 27 years.
That
I'm
was
saying,
embarrassing.
Lord have mercy. They want to take all the food. I can't even make a sandwich.
Anyway.
Each family can come up with their own set of rules of engagement. How are we going to conflict? Am I just going to cuss you out every time? Are you going to call me all kind of names? Are you going to talk about my mama every time we have a conflict? No. But that does happen in the absence of rules of engagement. So sit down together and say, this is how I think we should be able to conflict. This is how I think we should be able to have, arguments or whatever you want to call them. Because in the absence of any kind of structure and guidelines, everything goes. One thing, stop the cussing. Just eliminate cussing from the situation, because the only thing a person hears, you may be trying to make your point with cuss words, people don't hear your point. All they hear is the hurtful sounds. And that's another thing, eliminate the hurtful words. They're only seeking to hurt. They're not impressing you. They're not moving your point. They're not letting people know exactly what you want to do. So in your rules of conflict, advance your point. That's one of the things that you want to do. Whatever your point is, advance your point, build your relationship. We're not about tearing each other down. And a lot of times in our conflict and our conversations, our tongue becomes a weapon. And we are slaying one another right and left with our tongue. Advance your point, build your relationship, have rules of engagement. So maybe your rule of engagement says if it didn't happen in the past 90 days, don't bring it up. Because sometimes when we feel like we are losing the battle, we dig way back to 2 and 3 years ago of something that happened. So, well, yeah, because I remember so-and-so, and you didn't do so-and-so. And it's like, what? Where did this come from? And that's another point. Don't try to win. Because if someone is trying to win, the marriage loses. So if I'm in an argument or discussion with my husband and I'm trying to win this battle, then our marriage is losing because I'm trying to win. And is it better to be right than to be in a relationship? No. Because whatever you're doing, you always want the marriage to win. The marriage has to win. And another thing to consider in your rules of engagement, sometimes it's good to apologize even when you're right. Because what you want the peace and harmony of your family. So what difference does it make if you are apologizing even though you know you are right? Because then you throw your spouse off guard. What? Because when they start to really think about it after you have apologized, even though you know you're right, and you have apologized, they will begin to think about the situation and realize that they were really wrong. And they will come back to you and say, you know what, I know you apologized, but really, I'm the one that was wrong in this situation. And so, thanks for doing that, but I need to apologize because I was the one that was wrong. Advance your point. Build your relationship, have rules of engagement, and sometimes apologize even when you're right. It goes a long way.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Right. Put a little faith in your life. A wise man once said, your time is limited. Yeah. So don't waste it living someone else's life.